my God, aren't the two of them so cute right now? Can you see them laying down? If not, I'm going to move the camera a little bit so you can. They're both exhausted. I took them to the dog park. Okay, so I wanted to film a really informal get ready with me as I try out some new products. Yeah, I took the dogs to the dog park today and had a crazy time. I've been going to the same dog park for like 10 years. Normally, it's a great place. There's either a lot of dogs there or only a couple there, depending on what time I go. And I thought by going on a Friday in the afternoon, it'd be pretty dead. And it was. We had the park to ourselves for probably 40 minutes or so. But then when I was basically tossing a Frisbee for the dogs to run after, a guy came in with a Greyhound, and I was like, oh, it's a cute dog. I haven't seen a Greyhound in a long time. It looked kind of like a friend of mine used to have a Greyhound, and it looked kind of like that. So I was like, oh, it kind of makes me think of Val. And I didn't really think anything of it. I was continuing to play with my dogs. And then all of a sudden, Nyx started like crying and ran in between my legs, and this Greyhound was bounding up towards us, and I was like, all right, that's not cool. So the owner grabbed his dog, took the dog off to the other side of the dog park, and I was like, okay, whatever, went back to playing with my dogs. This dog comes up again and starts barking and sounds like he's going to attack Nyx, so I scoop Nyx up in my right arm, and I'm holding this dog off in my left arm, and wishing that the owner of this Greyhound would get his ass over here to take his dog away, because my dog was scared. Phaedra was biting the back of his dog's neck, and this Greyhound was probably, I don't know, 75, 80 pounds. I mean, basically twice the size of Phaedra, 3 times the size of Nyx, and scaring the crap out of both my dogs. And the guy finally comes up and grabs me. He's like, I don't know why he's chasing them, and takes him off and he leaves. And so I'm pretty rattled, because this is the only time I've ever been to this dog park and had an experience where I thought, well, one of my dogs is going to die. And then it hit me later on, and I was like, oh, that dog could have actually hurt me as well, because Greyhounds, they have big teeth, they're sharp teeth. So it made me really nauseous, and I thought I was going to puke. But we're all okay, so that's all that matters. I just couldn't believe somebody would have a dog at the dog park and let it off a leash if it was going to attack another dog. Seems crazy. I think I'm going to grab this color right here, which is called Stone, and use this as a transition color. Yeah, that works really well. This is my first time using any Kylie cosmetic products. I bought this palette because it was a purple palette, and you know I love purple. I have all kinds of purple stuff in my house. Purple bed, purple hair. So I was like, oh, that looks like maybe it'd be nice. We'll see how it works today. I swatched this on Instagram already, and there's really only one color in the palette that seemed like it had terrible color payoff, which was the bottom left color, which is called Amethyst. It seemed really fucking sheer. So it's probably one of those shades that'll look better if it's layered, but I'm gonna grab the purple color here in the center, which is called Wine and Dine. It's a red toned purple. And I'm gonna kind of, I guess, pat that on my lid. And I think I'm gonna work it into the smoky dome shape. So yeah, I'm really not sure why somebody would bring a dog to the dog park that was gonna attack another dog. That just seems like a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I feel very fortunate that neither of my dogs were hurt. So after I calmed down from that bullshit, we went over to the small dog side of the dog park, where there was one little 6-month-old puppy that was a little bigger than Nyx, but seemed very calm and sweet. And so she played with that dog for a little while, so at least she had something positive come out of this horrible experience. I always find this brush is really too big to get into the corner of my eye. So I'm just grabbing a smaller brush to try to work in it at the corner. You guys ever had any crazy dog park experiences? Did you ever sit there and wonder, how the hell did I get out of this with anybody dying or without anybody bleeding? There was no blood. I do know that Greyhounds have a really high prey drive, and so I think they normally see small, like animals like bunnies and cats, like they're not good around them because they see those as things to chase, hunt, kill. So my thought is maybe the Greyhound thought Nyx was small enough to count as that, but I mean, Nyx is 25 pounds. So, you know, she's a 4-month-old standard poodle puppy. She's not really small, like by any stretch of the imagination. She's just, you know, smaller than Phaedra, but she's not like toy dog size. But between that and I made the mistake of reading the news today, and there have been like 3 murders in Seminole Heights here in Tampa. It's like some sort of serial killer going on. I'm just probably not going to go out without my husband. Sad to feel like I live in a world where it's not safe for me to go out of my house without somebody with me, but that's where I'm at right now. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, you should be fine. You should just pick up, you know, a taser or a Sig Sauer." And I'm thinking, really? I don't feel like I should have to be armed to leave my house. But I have heard worse stories from my neighbors. My neighbor was actually telling me the other day when I was out walking the dogs that apparently at that dog park several years ago, somebody had a pit bull that ate a chihuahua, and I'm like, that sounds like an urban legend. He's like, no, because one of our neighbors owned the pit bull. The pit bull is now dead, but I was just like, that's terrifying. And that poor dog. Poor owners. So the hardest part with hooded eyes is always trying to figure out how high up to take the color for the crease to make sure you can see the crease under the hood, since like where my actual hood is hidden by all the fold skin. I think that's actually going to be okay. I need to soften this lower lash line, so I guess I'll use a little bit of stone, that gray taupe color that I used as my transition along the lower lid. And what I'm going to do next is use this duochrome color that's here at the bottom of the palette. It's called Purple Smoke. I'm gonna get my brush wet. I'm just gonna pat this onto my lid. And I'm gonna hit my lower lid too. That's kind of pretty. I'd say so far, I like this purple palette, even if it doesn't have like the most exciting purples in it. I found that the red tone purple that I used seemed to blend out pretty easily. I like the gray taupe that I used for the transition. And this purple smoke color seems pretty nice. A little more bronzy than I normally wear, but it's good to try new things. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush with more of that color stone, the gray taupe transition color, and just sort of blend out these edges a little better. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna curl my lashes and add some mascara. This is my Seki Edge Lash Curler. People always ask about it. It's cageless, and I just feel like it makes it easier for me to curl my lashes because my eyes, I guess, are an odd shape. I always feel like it's difficult to fit lash curlers and false lashes against my lash line. That's why I often cut my lashes in half. But I am not going to put on false lashes today. It is not that day. Oh, and it was hair wash today. That's when my hair is wet and pulled back, so I'm just letting it air dry. I used my Brew thickening shampoo and conditioner in it, so it should be beautiful whenever it's finally fully dry. I use my It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I still hate applying mascara. My lashes never want to hold a curl. And I feel like I've got some decent length going on there, because my lashes have pretty good length. It's just like they never want to hold a curl, so you can never tell that they have any mascara on, and my left eye is even worse. I'm never able to put mascara on this eye as well as I can my other eye. So yeah, mascara's on, but I think I am gonna use a little bit of liner though. No, you know what? I'm just gonna skip eyeliner today. I am gonna do my brows before I do my foundation, and then I'll go back and touch them up. Where is my brow stuff? There we go. So I use like a little spoolie to brush my brows kind of up and out in the shape I want them to go into before I put this on. Because this stuff is really goopy, but it spreads out pretty well. And then I kind of just place it there around the arch, and then I grab an angled brush. I really like the one I have by Decay. It's their angled eyeliner actually. And start spreading the product down and then inwards. This is what I do on my days when I want bolder, thicker looking brows. And I always do the inner part last so that it's lighter than everything else. And then any mistakes I make, I go back and fix with a Q-tip. And I do like to brush through a little bit with the spoolie. And I need to go a little bit more product on the brush. Try and get this inner part. So I think I mentioned in the Phaedra and Nyx Facebook group this week that I went to see Blade Runner 2049, which was awesome. And while I was in the theater for that, we got to see another one of the previews for Thor Ragnarok. I'm really, really looking forward to that. The other movie, of course, is the new Star Wars. My husband's all about that. Not that I don't like Star Wars, I did, but I didn't like Rogue One as well as everybody else. I felt like everybody else was like, oh my god, Rogue One is so amazing. And I was just kind of like, eh. My left brow is always the one that I find harder to fill in because I've got scars in it from accident as a kid. My grandma was taking me on a bike ride and I was in a chair behind her on the bike because I was a really little kid. And one of my dad's dogs, I think it was one of his Irish setters, was running alongside the bike and hit the front tire of the bike, and so the bike crashed. My grandmother broke both of her wrists and I got a concussion, and that's why I've got a scar over here and a scar in my eyebrow. But my grandmother is such a badass that she pushed us back to my dad's house with 2 broken wrists and then took me to the hospital. Such a crazy thing to have happen. My grandmother is 94, still living on her own, still driving. She's a very independent woman. Her health was bad for quite a while, but it's actually gotten better now that she can actually get the medication she needs. I feel like our healthcare system often fails people, and for a while it was really failing her. Okay, so I'm going to be trying out some products from Milk Makeup. Milk sent me these products. This is their blur stick. I have my ring light on its lowest setting and a ton of natural light coming in, so I'm trying to I want to see if you can actually see a difference with this product. My friend Jen swears by this blur stick. She thinks it's the best thing ever. I've watched a bunch of videos on it where people are like, oh my god, it's amazing, and I couldn't see a difference. So I'm really curious to see what it ends up doing for my skin. I only put it on this side of my face, and I'm trying to rub it in with my finger. I'm basically going to use it as a primer before I put on my foundation. Oh, and my skin was prepped. I put on my SPF 50 of my Kate Somerville before I came in to put on makeup. All right, I'm going to get uncomfortably close so you can look and see if you can see a difference. This side has it, this side doesn't. I feel like maybe it's a little bit, like maybe you can see a little bit of a difference. I feel like my pores are less visible right here and same right here, whereas they're more visible on this side. Although it's kind of interesting because I think this product is silicone free and oil free. I don't really know what's in it. All right, I'm going to mix a little bit of my Huda Beauty foundation in the shade Milkshake with my Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer, just because it gives it a little bit of a glow. And I'm gonna start working at the center of my face first. I'm on day 5 of this foundation and haven't broken out yet. Which I think is kind of a miracle considering how strong the fragrance is in it. And I don't know how everybody else likes to apply this foundation, but I really feel like it looks better on me when I apply it with a beauty blender versus when I apply it with a brush. Oh, and for reference, I did 1 pump of foundation to the dollop of the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer that I mixed it with. The primer doesn't change the color at all, which is great. It just makes it more luminous, which is what I'm going for. And I don't mind mixing something in to add luminosity on occasion, especially if it's something I don't have to worry about being exact with my measurements. One of the things I hate about having to add white to foundation is that I always have to be exact with my measurements, or I add too much, or I don't add enough, and I just find that really frustrating. I'm going to use a tiny little bit of Silk Naturals Close Up Illuminating Powder, like a teeny tiny bit, right under my eyes. Like right at the line where the eyeshadow meets the foundation. I am going to use Glamour Doll Eyes Skeletina to lightly contour my cheeks. Okay, so this is the Real Techniques contouring brush, and I just recently bought it, so I thought I would give it a try. I think I like it. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, I'd say that works pretty well. So next I'm going to put on this Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek thing. I'm going to put it on as blush. That's not working very well. I'm not really a master of cream blush, so I'm just kind of dabbing the color on with my finger and then gonna blend it out with my beauty blender. I feel like if I like try and swipe it on, it's gonna disturb my foundation. Maybe it won't, maybe I'm wrong. Not a bad color though, I think it's actually really flattering. Oh, the color is called Perk. It really gives like a nice natural looking flush. And I think it looks good on my pale skin. So the third product they sent me to try out was their Holographic Stick. You know that I thought that this would be absolutely beautiful. I guess I'm gonna try and put it on with my fingers. I think it's really pretty, but it's really subtle. Hopefully you can see it kind of catching the light when I turn my head. Yeah, I think it's pretty, but it's more for people who like really subtle highlighters in my opinion. Like I'm gonna use a highlighter on top of that because I can. I'm gonna put on Makeup Geek Celestial because it's my favorite highlighter. And just layer it right on top. Yeah, that's so much more blingy. I'm gonna use it on my eyes. Go back with the Beauty Blender. I do feel like my skin is looking really good like this. So I'm going to use OCC Lydia pencil. Now I'm going to put on Conspiracy lipstick. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted for my lips. They have a little bit of gold shimmer going on, but I think I'm gonna up that. This is Kat Von D's Glimmer Veil in Thunderstruck. I think that's what I'm gonna use. Yeah, I think that's it. I think this is my finished look. All right, now I'm gonna zoom in so you can see the eye look. This is the Kylie Purple Palette on my eyes. I really like how the look turned out. It's a nice, I think it's a nice look, especially for not wearing lashes or liner or anything. I love the lips. So I'm pleasantly surprised. I do like the Milk Blur Stick. I do feel like it kind of has helped hide some of my pores. I don't know how it's gonna wear throughout the day, I'll find out. But I definitely think that this might be worth checking out, at least in the mini size that they have available now. I like the blush because it's subtle and easy to apply. It feels like it's dried down, although I did just spray my face with setting spray. But normally I feel like cream blushes are difficult to work with. This was easier for me than your average cream blush. As far as the holographic stick goes, while I really like the color, I feel this is really subtle. So if you were somebody who likes subtle highlighter, you will probably love this. I like this as a base for another color. I wouldn't wear it on its own because it's too subtle for me, but that might be perfect for you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this chatty get ready with me. Please be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share. And if you haven't already, you should click the subscribe button. I mean, why wouldn't you want to see the poodles? They're adorable. I've got to go entertain Nyx. Bye.